Page 3 now, the invading army of illegals at our southern border. There is a massive non-U.S. citizen humanity in Tijuana. Thousands of these people camped out waiting for what? To storm the border again? Or perhaps make their move crossing the border illegally slightly to the east? In the El Centro border sector, for example, agents there just arrested an MS-13 gang member who violated our sovereignty. And guess what? This criminal says that he traveled through Mexico with the so-called migrant caravan. You see, they only come here to work. They're refugees, right? No, they're opportunists who are choosing to foist themselves on us instead of doing the right thing, staying put in their third world paradises and fixing their corrupt governments. That's what we did 242 years ago. We ousted a corrupt king. Why can't they? Instead, they're now breeding pestilence south of the United States. Joining me now from Southern California, producer for One America News, who is on assignment just north of the U.S.-Mexico border, Eddie McCoven. Eddie, this is important to note that the reports that we're getting out of Tijuana is that there is disease spreading among these people. And let's face it, they brought with them X amount of disease too.
Well, right, Graham, that's correct. We're hearing some information this morning, of course, from Tijuana, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But the Border Patrol Council president, he says, that's the union who represents the Border Patrol agents, says that the situation at the border is getting much, much worse. There's upwards of 6,000 in Tijuana's makeshift camps still looking to cross the border despite these poor conditions.
The Benito Juarez Sports Complex, where the migrants are staying right now, is an open-air shelter. And so, of course, there is concern about that. We have seen their tents at times spilling into the streets. Now, the migrants are aware that the rain is coming. And although there isn't any official plan, many are trying to prepare on their own. I'm told some of them were able to find plastic scraps or wood to create makeshift shelters for themselves. Now, we know the shelter is already 3 times at capacity and that the conditions are getting worse. Reports are that several of the migrants are sick. Some have lice or chickenpox, and many have blisters or cold symptoms from their long journey north. Now, cleanliness is also an issue. Water has been spilling out of the porta-johns and showers set up inside of the complex, and others are complaining that it can take hours for them to see a doctor in a medical tent that is outside the shelter. And of course, with the incoming rain, many are worried that things are going to get worse.
Now, the State Department will be working with the Mexican government to figure out how to best deal with these types of situations. But many have questioned why the Mexican government allowed this to happen when we have these reports of overcrowding and the spreading of illnesses.
It's a great point. You just reported about the chickenpox. This is why tuberculosis has made a comeback in this country. We wiped it out in this republic many, many years ago. Well, the reason why it's made a comeback is because of unchecked illegal immigration. You have to feel for the people of Tijuana. They brought this problem to their doorstep. And now you have the mayor of TJ saying, hey, we're out of money. I think, it runs out this weekend?
Right. The mayor has said that they've been spending around $30,000 a day to take care of these migrants. And he said on Tuesday that we only have a few more days left of funding. So that could mean by this weekend, these migrant caravan people might be out of luck as far as any assistance from the city of Tijuana. Interesting enough, though, we've heard from the Tijuana Public Health Department this morning that there's about 800 of these migrants. They've got respiratory infections. We've got 4 that have confirmed cases of tuberculosis, 4 confirmed cases of chickenpox.
This is bad news.
And 4 confirmed cases of HIV/AIDS, and 1,200 or so, and this makes a total of 1/3 of these people who are currently camped out there are just being treated for a variety of medical issues.
And these people want in our country, but again, the poor people of Tijuana, they don't need this. A lot of people don't realize how large TJ is. It's hard to quantify, actually, but it's probably around 2 million people, maybe 3 million people. It's a very large city. The last thing they need is an outbreak of chickenpox around this time of year or TB. And now the Yuma border sector. We heard about El Centro. We know that they've traveled down there, X amount of them, including that MS-13 gang member. But also the Yuma sector, which is, about 60 miles to the east of El Centro? They're preparing too, right?
Right. So, according to reports from the National Border Patrol Council, we're seeing about 1,000 to 3,000 in Mexicali. That's, of course, on the border with El Centro, Calexico there, where they've just recently fixed some of the fence there. And, yeah, about an hour east of there into Arizona, Yuma, Border Patrol agents there say they're ready. They've already got helicopters and everything ready to go. They are bracing for this. We don't know exactly how many migrants are going to be coming that way, but it could be very well in the neighborhood of hundreds to maybe 1,000 or more.
I think it's time the United States and Mexico works together to find a solution to ship these people home. I mean, I'm sorry to be cold about it, but I see no other solution here. Eddie, thank you.